From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 6, streaming now.
Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. Tonight, family members of a woman who has been missing for 7 years say they are not giving up hope. Jessica Masker disappeared in 2013. Today, her family gathered at Christian Park in Indianapolis to post flyers. Masker was last seen in the area of South Emerson Avenue and East Washington Street on April 15th, 2013. Their goal today and every day is to keep reminding people that despite the fact that it's been 7 years, they are still holding on to hope and they need the community's help finding her.
The littlest thing could be a big lead. And our family would greatly appreciate if you were to call.
Jessica's family said she was using drugs and in an abusive relationship before she disappeared. She was just 24 years old at the time. If you know anything about what happened to Jessica, call Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-TIPS. Another violent weekend across the Circle City. By our count, at least 10 people have been shot in Indianapolis since Friday afternoon, 3 fatally. The latest homicides happened last night. There were 2 separate shootings, including this one near 38th Street and North College Avenue. Metro Police say a man with gunshot wounds was found in a car that had been involved in a crash. The man died at the hospital. His name has not been released. Detectives believe he was shot before that crash. And less than an hour after the incident at 38th and College, Metro Police found another man suffering from a gunshot wound on the sidewalk in the 800 block of West 29th Street. He later died. His identity has not been released. A man whose car went into a retention pond on the northeast side managed to get out safely, but sadly that is not how this story ended. The man died after trying to help a tow truck driver retrieve the car. Indianapolis fire officials say the man and the tow truck driver entered the pond early this morning in the 4000 block of Pendleton Way. They were trying to hook up his car to the tow when for some reason the man became agitated and distressed. The tow truck driver told investigators the man almost pulled him under the water, so the driver got out of the pond and called the fire department. Crews arrived, and while they were able to pull the man out of the pond, he did not survive. His name has not been released. A local church wants to make a lasting change when it comes to race relations. I-Town Church in Fishers has set its sight on being the change it wants to see in America. They've started by teaching a Breaking the Cycle series that places emphasis on acting as an ally for minorities and emphasizing diversity while marching towards equality. Pastor Mike and Katie Sumrall says this all started from just being open to having conversations with their staff on what progress looks like.
As we began to look across the landscape of our own church, we didn't have the diversity that would really reflect what heaven should look like. And so we began to systematically make changes that just very intentionally represent everybody from every culture and background so that everyone feels equally loved and celebrated.
The church has also made it their mission to help Black-owned businesses that were impacted during protests. Coming up all new tonight at 11, we'll have more details on how the series has taken on a life of its own. Now to your forecast, meteorologist Kyle Mounds is standing by. And Kyle, what a beautiful Sunday we are enjoying.
Yeah, really nice out there. Many spots making it into the lower 80s this afternoon. Still enjoying a lot of that sunshine while we sit at 78 downtown. Our wind out of the southwest at 12 miles per hour. It's been a little breezy and actually a little bit of a heat index to talk about out there. It feels like 80 degrees. We have actually 80-degree temperatures on the thermometer. Muncie at 82, 81 in Lafayette, and 81 in Terre Haute. Enjoy the mild temperatures. Look at this back off to the west. We've got the division between summer and fall. Numbers are only in the 50s in Des Moines and Kansas City right now at 53. Certainly there is a cold front there. There's also some rainfall that is going to start making its way towards central Indiana. Ahead of that, a couple of isolated showers, not out of the question. I think that's mainly going to be northwest of Indianapolis here around Lafayette, possibly Crawfordsville and into the Monticello areas. But those rain chances, they will rise here as we go late into the overnight and through the first half of our Monday. Almost a guarantee of seeing some of that wet weather. But for this evening, just enjoy the 70s here with mostly cloudy skies and that sun setting at 7:33.
Kyle, thank you. During the pandemic, we are continuing to put the focus on people working together to give back and find ways to help out their community. Noblesville native Tanya Wilhite led a community effort this summer to raise $30,000 for the Noblesville Youth Assistance Program that supports at-risk kids through the Meals for Millers program. We talked with Tanya today because she is not stopping there. She's now on a mission with the pharmaceutical company she works for, Bristol Myers Squibb. This upcoming week is Global Patient Week. For the first time, all 30,000 employees are coming together to celebrate the patients they serve through the Move 4 Minutes campaign.
Everywhere around the globe, the Bristol Myers Squibb employees and their families can either ride, bike, do whatever kind of movement they're comfortable doing, or volunteer. And for every minute Bristol Myers Squibb employees and their families move or volunteer, BMS will donate $1 to the Global Red Cross to help those affected most by COVID. The people who were affected most by this really didn't have a choice to be in this position. And I'm very grateful that myself and my whole family were able to do this. We're able to give back.
Well, Tanya's son will be swimming, she will be cycling, and her husband will be walking to raise money. The goal is for employees to move for 1 million minutes to raise $1 million in donations. Good to see there. He was known for taking risks on the football field, but Joe Montana recently found himself in a very risky situation involving a kidnapper and his precious grandchild. The story coming up. The Indiana judge who could be the newest Supreme Court justice ahead. Reaction from Amy Coney Barrett's students at Notre Dame in South Bend.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 6, streaming now.
Tonight, residents of Malibu, California are on high alert after legendary football player Joe Montana confronted a home intruder after his infant grandchild was snatched away. ABC News' Zoreen Shaw has the details.
The LA Sheriff Office saying a female suspect entered a Malibu home where Montana and his family were around 5 o'clock Saturday night. That's when they say she kidnapped Montana's 9-month-old grandchild from the living room, then walked upstairs where the Football Hall of Famer and his wife confronted her, taking the child back. The suspect ran to a nearby home. That's where Malibu deputies found her, making their arrest. Montana tweeting tonight, "Thank you to everyone who has reached out. Scary situation, but thankful that everybody is doing well. We appreciate respect for our privacy at this time." The 64-year-old former 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs player, known during his career as Joe Cool for performing under pressure, was considered one of football's greatest quarterbacks, winning 4 Super Bowls, named Super Bowl MVP 3 times. Zoreen Shaw, ABC News, Los Angeles.
2 people were injured after a vehicle struck them during a Black Lives Matter protest in California. This video of the incident in Orange County may be disturbing to some viewers. It's unclear what happened just before this moment when video shows a woman driving her car into the crowd on Saturday. The force knocked several people to the ground. 2 injured people later went to the hospital for treatment. This video shows the suspect trying to leave the area until law enforcement stops her. She's charged with attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon. Superstar Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is throwing his celebrity weight behind Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden. On social media today, the actor and former wrestler said he has voted for both parties in the past, but will definitely vote for Biden in November.
As a registered independent for years now with centrist ideologies, I do feel that Vice President Biden and Senator Harris are the best choice to lead our country, and I am endorsing them to become president and vice president of our United States.
Johnson's video included a brief interview he had with Biden and Harris. The post was viewed more than 2 million times in its first 3 hours on Twitter. Let WRTV be your central source for all you need to know before November 3rd. Go to our Vote in 2020 digital section. You'll find everything you need to know there, including who's on your ballot, where you can vote and when, how early voting works and when it starts, what mailing in your vote will look like, and any other questions you might have this election season. Keep a tab open at WRTV.com/vote in 2020. It's been just over a day since President Trump announced his nominee to fill the Supreme Court seat vacated by the death of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Judge Amy Coney Barrett of South Bend is now the focus of intense national scrutiny, but she's already made an impression on former classmates and students at Notre Dame, where she teaches law. More now from reporter Tony Sandelben.
I was very impressed with her intelligence and her ability to grasp the law. There are, as you might imagine, there are a lot of smart people that go to Notre Dame Law School, but she was clearly one of the smartest people I've ever met.
Stan Rubel went to law school with Judge Amy Coney Barrett at Notre Dame. He says their interactions were few and far between, but he says her intelligence always stood out. Her current students at Notre Dame's law school, where Barrett is currently a professor, agree.
When registration opens every year, her class fills up within seconds, and that's because people recognize that she really is at the top of her field.
Hayden Peterson is one of Barrett's law students. He says the last week has kept his classmates on their toes.
On Monday, we had heard rumblings that she was in consideration, and actually, when we showed up for class, she had sent her clerk to lead the class that day, and we found out, in hindsight, we'd heard reports that she was at the White House visiting with the president.
Another one of her students says whether she is voted in or not, studying law under Judge Barrett's instruction is resume worthy.
It makes my experience as a law student, even better than what it's been the past few years. It puts the law school at the university on an even bigger map than what it is now. It's something that, I think years and years from now, it's just going to have a very positive impact on not only me, but the whole community, the whole university.
That was Tony Sandelben reporting. Judge Barrett's students say she has not discussed the nomination much with her classes, focusing primarily on her lecture material. She has not said what she will do with her teaching position if she gets confirmed by the U.S. Senate. Kyle.
It's been a warm and breezy afternoon here across central Indiana, and we've got those south and southwest breezes here around 10 to 15 miles per hour tomorrow. Those winds are going to turn out of the northwest and bring in some big changes. Enjoying some sunshine, though, as those clouds do start to build back in here. 78 downtown and Kokomo, lower 80s for you in Muncie, while you got 77 in Greenwood and the Columbus area. Temperatures will stay mild tonight. Just a few showers going to be out there. Again, a lot of us will not see much in the way of rainfall here until we get into the morning hours of our Monday. As it stands right now, September on pace to be the driest month on record for Indianapolis. Don't think we're going to finish that way, but even with the wet weather coming our way here, I do think we'll end up in the top 10 driest Septembers for central Indiana. Here's a look at that rain now. We'll take you to midnight tonight. We got clouds, a couple of isolated showers in northwestern communities. As we make our way to about 6 o'clock in the morning, we see that rain really overspreading the western portion of the state. So you'll still be dry, likely areas east of Indianapolis here through the early morning hours. But as we get to 9 o'clock in the morning, you can see fairly widespread showers here. We're not really expecting thunderstorms with this. As we go toward the middle of the day, we've got those showers still around Richmond, Connorsville, and they will continue to push east from there. Just an isolated shower kind of left after that. May see a little bit of sunshine here as we get into the evening hours. As far as that rainfall potential, the ground will soak this up just fine, as we're looking at about a ½ inch of rainfall. About a third to a ½ inch of rain is what we are expecting. The other side of the story will be the tumbling temperatures. We'll start off around 60 degrees. As we go toward midday here, we're in the middle 50s, recovering only a little bit here, upper 50s to around 60 by Monday afternoon. Far cry from close to 80 degrees where we were today. So not only are you going to need the umbrella tomorrow, but probably that jacket as well. It will be breezy, so there are those winds already in the morning. They're coming mainly out of that northerly direction, still a little bit southwest there around Bedford and North Vernon, but it gets breezy into the afternoon. That northwest wind could gust over 20 to possibly around 30 miles per hour on an isolated basis here. Still breezy even as we get into tomorrow evening. And the cool trend, it's going to be sticking around for several days. We're talking about highs in the 60s here right on through Thursday, and then there's another shot of cool air behind that. Checking out the 7-day planning forecast for you now. 62 tomorrow. Again, those temperatures a little cooler, though, as we head into the afternoon with some showers around. We'll be in the 60s for highs through Thursday. Then we get that next shot of cool air. Highs are only in the 50s here Friday and Saturday, and we could have some lows in the 30s by the time we start the weekend.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Well, protesters spent the spring and summer demanding changes when it comes to the Indianapolis Metro Police Department and its officers. Coming up, the new tool that will soon be at your fingertips and the controversy it's causing. In less than a week, you will be able to see every complaint that has been issued or filed against Metro police officers. Impd is striving to make reforms with the new transparency portal. But as our Kelsey Anderson tells us, some say the change could bring about problems for officers.
On August 10th, the City County Council approved the Impd Transparency Portal to go live on October 1st. As it stands right now, and according to the meeting minutes, the director of the board will provide a monthly report of all citizen complaints against Impd officers. The report will include the officer's name, rank, and whether the complaint was not sustained, exonerated, or withdrawn. I spoke to Reverend Charles Harrison about the portal, and he says he has mixed feelings.
Well, I think it could be a good thing in the sense I think the public does have a right to know if there are officers who continually get complaints against him or her that are legitimate. I don't want the transparency portal to be used as a tool or a weapon to continue the attacks against police. I don't think that's very healthy for the community.
I spoke to a member of the Citizens Police Review Board, and she says this change is just another step towards the transparency that the city has been working to achieve. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. The Impd Transparency Portal will go live on October 1st and will be accessible on the city and county websites. We'll be right back. Today, families enjoyed free admission to the Children's Museum while celebrating Latin American cultures. Today's event included vibrant colors, rhythmic music, and an opportunity to make crafts while immersing in the fun and cultures of Latin American countries. The event just wrapped up at 5 o'clock and was completely sold out as the museum is still at 25% capacity. You may want to check your tool shed. The Consumer Product Safety Commission has issued recalls on two popular cordless chainsaws. Both models are sold at Lowe's under the Cobalt brand. More than 250,000 of the chainsaws are on the market, and they can pose a significant safety hazard for serious cuts. The Consumer Product Safety Commission warns one of the saws has a tendency to be stuck in the on position. The other can sometimes continue running even after the user releases the trigger. You should stop using the saws immediately and contact the manufacturer for a free repair. Google Maps is adding an update to help you track COVID-19 in your area. It's launching a feature that will show the 7-day new case average on the map. They will be color-coded in 6 different shades based on severity. To access it, you can click on the Layers button in the app. Then you select COVID-19 info. The feature is rolling out on both iOS and Android. And Target is making changes to the way it hires for the holiday season. It's shifting a majority of the hiring to contactless services. For example, Target says it will have double the number of people working in the order pickup and drive up areas. It's also adding more seasonal workers to distribution centers. In total, Target plans on hiring 130,000 seasonal workers this year. A big casting announcement regarding the planned live-action remake of Disney's Peter Pan. Actress Yara Shahidi revealed she will be playing Tinkerbell in the upcoming film Peter Pan and Wendy. The 20-year-old actress made the announcement on Instagram. She's best known for her role in the popular ABC family sitcom Blackish. Shahidi will be joined by Jude Law playing the role of Captain Hook. The original animated film came out in 1953. No release date has yet been set for the live-action film. Are you an 80s kid? If so, one of your beloved traditions was probably eating cereal while watching Saturday morning cartoons. General Mills is trying to tap into that nostalgia and is going retro, bringing back the 1980s recipes of 4 of its cereals. Cocoa Puffs, Cookie Crisp, Trix, and Golden Grahams are permanently returning to their 1980s versions. So this means the company says Cocoa Puffs will deliver more chocolatey taste. Cookie Crisp will bring back more chocolate chip cookie flavor. Trix is returning to 6 fruity shapes, and Golden Grahams is bringing back honey. General Mills says they are now available at most major retailers nationwide. Kyle, I think I would choose Cocoa Puffs.
Trix. I got a whole lineup there. I'm ready for breakfast. All right, well, we are going to get a little soggy tomorrow. We've got some showers and it turns much cooler here. Highs are only going to be in the 50s by the end of the week.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight at 11. Have a great night.